What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Four No More Golf. I'm Dalton, and today we're going to fix your slice in just 2 easy steps. So make sure you get comfortable, grab a club, grab a hanger out of the closet, and let's go ahead and get that slice taken care of. That way when we can get back out and start playing outside again, we can have some fun, hit that ball a little further, a little straighter too. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe down below, like this video, hit us up in the comment section with anything that you want to see and how we can help your golf swing while you're at home or when we get back out on the golf course. Let's get started. For step number 1, all you gotta do is just grab a hanger from inside the closet and we're gonna set it up on the grip of the golf club, specifically on the right side. So we don't want to see it get on the left side. Makes this exercise a little bit too easy. So we're going to get it onto the right side. You can place the back of it just kind of on the back of your grip, so that way part of it's, or most of it's going kind of right up through the middle of the grip, almost like a spine. And so what we're trying to work on is making sure that the club face is under control. And most people start slicing the ball off to the right because they cannot control their face, and we can see that face position there versus something like that is incredibly different to what's going to happen to the golf ball. So notice here, you'll see the hanger touching my right wrist, club face more exposed up towards the sky. This is what gets the majority of people in huge trouble. You will not find a tour player in this position. There's a reason for it, because it's not functional. You cannot be successful from this spot. So what we're going to try to do is, notice, instead of having the hanger touch our right wrist, is we're going to make sure we have it set up properly. And then as we get ourselves towards the top of our backswing and move down, we're going to make sure that we get the hanger to touch the inside portion of our left forearm. So if we can get that to happen there, notice what happens to the face. It almost matches the spine angle that I have, so that this face is now square, and all I have to do is just rotate through that golf ball instead of having to get really handsy and flip that club face all over the place. Okay, so again, instead of having this club happen to be really open, we start to get what's called flexion in our left wrist. Okay, and I have an entire article about this at fournomorgolf.com. All you have to do is subscribe, teach you everything about making sure you get that flexion and why it's so important. But for stopping your slice, it is super huge. So notice how I get that contact there instead of that hanger touching the right forearm. And now we got that club face under control, so it's pointing more on target and not way off to the right. So then all we have to do is start controlling the path, and now we'll have straighter, further shots, no more big giant slices, and you'll start to see yourself rotate a little bit better. If that's something you're working in on your golf swing and you're struggling to have success with, there's a big reason why, and this club face is definitely it. Now that we have the club face under control, we can actually work on moving that path around again, getting the club face to start to go towards the target line and in the right direction is how we want to make sure we get started with making these changes. The better players are the ones that can control the face exceptionally well, and path is difficult to change, and just because we're changing path, if we don't have that good face orientation, we're going to still struggle significantly with where our ball is going. But now that we have the face under control with our little hanger exercise, we can use a wall to help us control the path as we start to come down. And again, path is determined very early in the downswing. You cannot change it like you can the club face, where you can really use your hands to try to flip the club face down at impact. Path is determined very early. So all we have to do is get posted up against the wall as we get ourselves set up. Again, if you have limited space, you can still do this as long as you can get a club to a wall. You can cover your club if you don't want to make any marks. You can even flip it around and use the grip end, again, for what we're about to do. But all you do is get yourself set up. You're going to see me, I'm going to preset my backswings. I don't have much room. And then as I start to move down, I'm gonna let that club touch the wall, and then I'm gonna slide along the wall as I come down. And so notice how the shaft shallows out and does not get into this very steep, perpendicular to the ground type of spot that forces our path to go left. So once we go here, that path is going to be going hard left, producing that big slice off to the right. So our club staying back behind us, kind of guiding along the wall, forces it to get more parallel to the ground. That's that shallowing effect that we like to see. That way we can force the path to go more on target, or even a little bit right of the target. And with a nice square face, we see that ball either curve to the left with a little draw pattern or hang out pretty straight. And it's not about that we don't want to see the ball curve to the right. A lot of great players hit a very, very controlled fade. There's a big difference. All we're trying to do is get rid of that big slice that's pretty hard to look at, and that doesn't go where we want it to, that's not in the fairway, not on the green. We're trying to look for our golf ball in the bushes, so on and so forth. So we take it back, and all we have to do is just keep that club just going along the wall. Okay, and you can even do this like you'll see me, it's almost like a hockey grip way too. You can feel this a whole bunch of different ways, and just flipping it with the grip side if you're afraid to get the club on the wall. Okay, you can see how I can just guide it down with the grip as well, creating the same type of effect and shaft angle to control that path. Now that we have an understanding of the two things that we need to do, all we have to do is just combine them together in order to get rid of that slice. So we get our hanger set up, get our club back to the top of our swing, start to move down the wall, notice the shallowing that we get, and then as we move off the wall, that's when we really focus on trying to make sure those hands do exactly what they're supposed to do, and we get into that flexion. Once we're there and we're off the wall, all we have to do is just turn on through to go down into impact. Once we start doing this effectively, we start getting more used to what the feels are, we can get rid of that slice. So it's so important to make sure you do these exercises at home. That way you start building in what it feels like to get your wrist moving in this sense, to get the club face moving, and to have a sensation of the club moving away from us instead of hanging out closer to us. Again, that's something that we see with every great tour player. They have the club in this position as they get to the top of the backswing, and the club head moves away from them, moving towards that wall. So again, as we combine both of these, it's really, really hard to hit a big slice. Much easier to control your ball flight, hit the ball a whole lot straighter, even draw the ball if that's something that you would like to do as well. Thanks for tuning into this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Let us know how we can help your game here at 4Know More. Check out in the description for our link to our website where you can sign up for online lessons, things that you can do at home, whether you have a hitting net, just some space, whether you have golf balls, whether you can get out to the range. Send us your videos so that we can help you become the player that you've always wanted to be. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do that, and we'll see you again soon.